Chapter 62-34. At this time, Charlie was on his way home. Hearing Professor Watt personally say that Meiching has agreed to serve as the legal director, he felt particularly happy. Both Pollard and Meiching are professional talents who have been working in a field for decades. With their joining, Changjing Automobile will definitely receive great help. So Charlie called his second uncle Marcus. Now it's time to build momentum and pave the way for Changjing Automobile. That night, major news apps pushed heavy news almost at the same time. The world's strongest Chinese family, the Yin family from the United States, actually announced that it would jointly establish a new energy vehicle company in China with the Wade family. The total investment is expected to exceed $30 billion, which is the largest single investment in the history of China's automobile industry. At first, people were very curious about why the Yin family chose to cooperate with the Wade family in China. But soon an insider revealed the past of the two families, and many people learned that the Yin and Wade families were actually relatives. Margaret and Changjing had been killed for 20 years. Except for the young people in their prime and the middle-aged and elderly groups today. Most of the young people who are now on the internet have never heard of their names. Nor do they know what happened in the past and the grievances between the two families. And those who knew about the grievances between the two families never thought that the two families could become partners after 20 years. At this moment, on the edge of Antarctica, Revendor, the direct descendant of the Wu family, hurried to the outside of Victoria's room. He carefully knocked on the door and respectfully said outside the door, "Lord, I have something important to report." Victoria did not speak, but the heavy wooden door slowly opened with an invisible force. Revendor stepped in and saw Victoria sitting cross-legged on the floor of the huge front hall, circulating her spiritual energy. At this time, Victoria didn't even open her eyes, and asked him slowly, "What's the matter, tell me?" Revendor hurriedly said, "My lord, there is news from China that the Yin family wants to cooperate with the Wade family to invest in new energy vehicles." Victoria slowly opened her eyes and said lightly, "What's the big deal?" Revendor hurriedly explained, "My lord, I am not making a fuss, but I think it's quite unexpected for the two families to suddenly announce their alliance. So I came to report to you as soon as possible." Victoria said, "I tried to kill the Yin family several times, but failed. The Yin family dare not return to the United States now, and decided to make great efforts in China. Investing in order to seek protection in that country, I think they will definitely regard China as a new direction for future development. Didn't they invest in many projects in one go some time ago? It's not strange to cooperate with the Wade family now. After all, in China, the Wade family can be regarded as the host. For the sake of their own development in China, the Yin family will definitely show goodwill to them." Revendor nodded, and then said, "My lord, the Yin family has returned to China, so won't we take action against them?" Victoria said coldly, "We will take action sooner or later, but we can't do it now. They are now the source of largest foreign capital in China. If we deal with them on Chinese territory, wouldn't that be offending China? The reason why I want to kill them is nothing more than to force Margaret to show up so as not to get into trouble. If we become the public enemy of China, it won't be a sane move." Revendor hurriedly asked again, "Lord, are you so sure that Margaret is still alive?" Victoria said, "For the past 20 years. Every time I think of the deaths of Changjing and Margaret, I feel that something is fishy." Revendor bowed and said, "I dare to ask, Lord, why do you feel that something is fishy?" Victoria said, "Changjing was definitely not an ordinary person. He is a man of great talent and foresight. How could he be killed so easily by Germo along with his wife? He must know that he is not our opponent. With his character, he will make proper arrangements for his wife and children. It is impossible for his whole family to surrender." As he said, Victoria asked back, "Think about it. If Changjing had not been prepared in advance, how could he not find the whereabouts of his son for so many years? An orphan, who disappeared from the world the moment the accident happened. How could he disappear so quickly and so completely without careful arrangements? This, Revendor pursed his lips and said respectfully. What the Lord said makes sense. The child has been missing for 20 years, and many parties have been looking for him. But no one has been able to find him. If I remember correctly, he was at most 8 years old when he disappeared. An 8-year-old child definitely does not have such ability. Changeling must have arranged it long ago. Victoria's face was as cold as frost, and she said sternly, since he had already made arrangements for his son, there is no reason not to leave a way out for Margaret. Moreover, Germo said that Margaret was burned beyond recognition when she died. This is the biggest doubt. What if the person who died that day was not Margaret, but a substitute arranged by Changeling?